Nestled off the coast of South Carolina lies Edisto Island. The 10 by 12 mile strip hides just an hour southwest of Charleston. We hit the road at 5 a.m. on March 3rd. This was a familiar journey for some students as we visited Edisto last year as well.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited! And now, yeah, that was about the extent of my excitement.
With glorious traveling weather, at last we reached the state line. Then the rains came. The weather did little to slow our progress or dampen our spirits.
I'm Joe Ligo here with Ryan Johnston. We're in the cargo van, which means it's just us two guys and a whole lot of luggage. Ryan, how long have we been on the road?
Well, Joe, we've been on the road now about 13 hours, started at 5 a.m. this morning, so it's been a pretty long day.
At last, we reached the Presbyterian Church on Edisto Island, our home for the week.
See you later. Sleep well, guys.
The rain we brought with us caused Edisto to come alive, a good omen indeed. We attended the service at the beautiful church. Then we spent the afternoon exploring the island. The name Edisto comes from the Native Americans who inhabited the island over 500 years ago. Presently, Edisto maintains nearly 4,000 permanent residents. The rest of the population comes from tourism, the island's main industry. Even with this traffic, the locals strive to maintain a small-town feel.
There's not a single hotel chain in sight. The best oceanfront property belongs to this row of beach houses.
Despite the obscurity, Edisto locations appear in several popular movies.
This is the last remaining strip of King's Highway, originally commissioned by King Charles of England in the 1600s. It's been used in several films, such as The Patriot, starring Mel Gibson.
But we didn't come to Edisto for sightseeing. After spending a Sunday as tourists, we began our work.
Okay, Joe, here we are. We're headed off to the first day on the work site.
Working alongside the Edisto Home Mission team, we planned to put a new roof on this tiny church. But first, the old one had to come off. Veteran Emily Damaski has attended work trips 4 years in a row.
I wouldn't say I'm a pro, but I like to do it.
Those without Emily's experience looked forward to their first spring break work trip. Robin Gooch goes to Westminster, but she's not a student and she doesn't teach. She sits on the board of trustees.
I thought, you know what? It would be so awesome to really see what's going on with the religious life at the school if I actually went on one of those trips.
So we all worked together. Some had the fun job of tearing off shingles. Those of us on the ground had to clean them up. The team removed all the old roofing by noon. A very pleasant surprise awaited us when we stopped for lunch. The ladies of the church cooked us a full meal.
So I'm very excited.
It was just cool to see that the church cares so much that we're here helping them out.
Ashley Durham has more on this unique congregation.
Edisto Island holds a rich history based in religious traditions. In fact, on the small 10-mile island, there are 14 active churches. Many buildings here date back to the 1800s and have won the battles of time and weather with the help of recent restorations. Bethlehem RMUE Church had one consistent prayer over the last few years, a new roof for their house of worship. Westminster's team, along with the Edisto Island Home Mission, came together to answer that prayer.
All of this work benefits the small 27-member congregation. I sat down with Reverend Moore to learn about their history.
But Bethlehem was one of the older churches on the island, and it goes way back over 100 years. So, and it had remained the same pace and the culture that was intended from the forefathers.
Reverend Wesley Moore has been with the church for 20 years as pastor. He says he always believed help would come along.
It was selected because I asked. Christ said, if you have not, because you ask not. And I asked several times.
The hospitality of the congregation shows the moment you meet them, but it was clear that the small church was in need of repairs.
Such a treasure for us to have that roof done.
According to Reverend Moore, one of the biggest things to focus on in projects like this is the importance of preserving history.
Thinking of preserving the past into the future in a way that it will extend long before the time is up.
Projects like Spring Break with a Purpose are not just about service to others. For some, they're about finding a new perspective in one's personal faith.
It would really give them a better insight into things that you tried to do and not to doubt yourself, because there is something that would have been done before now had I had the blessing of the congregation.
And that faith can be seen in the students who offer their time to make a difference.
The Edisto team made great progress on the first day.
As with any work site, there's always plenty of trash to be thrown out when you're making repairs. From shingles to tree limbs and even the bathroom sink. It all goes in the dumpster.
Tuesday, we began applying tar paper and carrying shingles to the roof. Sometimes 2 people to a pack, sometimes 2 packs to a person. With the old shingles gone, problems began appearing. While working, we noticed a pair of watchful eyes, inspecting our progress. Little BJ, the church secretary's great-grandson, came along to deliver our lunch. He bravely approached us during our meal, and the team tried to befriend him. We didn't get very far. Too soon, our delicious meal of fried fish and rice ended, and we got back on the job. The more we fixed, the more we found in need of repair.
Oh, thank you for splitting the stupid board.
Could these new problems prevent us from finishing in a week? And would BJ give us a second chance at friendship? We appreciated the help of the Edisto Home Mission team with our many unforeseen problems. Ryan Johnston worked alongside these great folks and shares their story with us.
The Edisto Island Mission was born in 2001 from a discussion by people waiting in an airport to return home.
And the crowd told me that they enjoyed what they did, but there's a lot of work we needed to do on Edisto.
The mission originally had 25 members. Now it is down to just a few and relies on outside help to complete some projects.
So we still have people like you that come from other places that want to work in the summer down here. So we do some work ourselves. We aren't big enough to do roofs. We don't have enough people to do a roof and things like that, but we still do a lot of minor work with the ones that we have.
The Edisto Island Mission takes great care when selecting work. The Spring Break team found out they were part of something special with this work site.
We normally do not do churches. In fact, this is the first one we've ever worked on. And these people approached us and asked for our help. And we normally don't do churches, but we decided that it's such a small church and came and looked at it, and it really needed some work.
The mission runs off of donations, and volunteers provide the work. For the workers who worked with the Spring Break team, the Edisto mission has a special meaning.
Well, a feeling that you're doing something that needs to be done in the community and helping people who need help.
I truly believe that it's part of God's work that we should give back to the community. I feel blessed that I was able to retire early. I have my health, and my wife has her health, and it's just something that I feel like I need to do to kind of give something back.
In Edisto Island, South Carolina, I'm Ryan Johnston, and this is Spring Break with a Purpose.
While the roof crew struggled up top, Robin marshaled the ground troops for painting.
And now we're going to put a fresh, beautiful coat of paint on. We're excited.
We won't say what year she graduated from Westminster, but it's safe to assume very few of her classmates would climb up a ladder and paint with such relish. Meanwhile, Kirsten prepared the old cross for a repainting.
Now I just gotta conquer my fear of the roof so I can go hang this up.
And by day's end, the paint crew had an extra member to help out. Their kindness won over little BJ. This small victory became the highlight of the day's work. Our new roof finally began taking shape, and the team grew closer as the week passed.
And it just seems like we're already a family. Like, everyone works so well together, everyone's so supportive of one another.
And our faith grew as well.
I think these trips give us the opportunity to, use our skills that God has given us to kind of get back to Him.
Everyone had their chance to use the nail gun.
This better make primetime news tonight.
We found the culprit for all the holes.
Squirrels.
Squirrels!
Coming out of the soffits.
And the new paint made everything look clean and fresh. We spent Wednesday patching holes, wiping windows, and dancing on the roof. The usually quiet salt marshes were filled with the sound of hammers, saws, and air compressors. We hope to make Thursday our last day on the job site.
Today we're going to get her done.
The team and the mission workers gave it their all. Our roofers had things down to a science. Jim wrapped up business with the lumberyard, and Robin held the ladder so everyone had a chance to go on the roof. We changed light bulbs, put on a second coat of paint, and we danced some more. At lunchtime, the church ladies outdid themselves.
And this is the fried chicken.
Oh, we feasted like kings on the southern delicacies of fried chicken, Hoppin' John, and peach cobbler. BJ happily hung out with us during lunch. According to Robin, we're a pretty fun group to hang out with.
The community of Christian kindness here has been, I think, the most wonderful part of my experience.
The rocks on the shingles glittered in the South Carolina sun. Everyone was in a good mood on the last day. Our cross painter conquered her fear of heights and took to the roof to attach the finishing touch on the building. As we celebrated, we were joined by the overjoyed pastor of Bethlehem Church.
They have done something that I have longed for. And with God's guidance, His divine blessing, it happened.
The trip contained many firsts. First time on a roof, first work trip experience, first time using a nail gun, first time painting, first time seeing the ocean. Edisto Island is a wonderful place, filled with beautiful sights and kind people. Why Edisto?
Because I grew up here. It's home.
Whether it was the trips to the Piggly Wiggly, dancing on the roof, holding the ladder for someone, or the happiness of the congregation, everybody had fond memories of our work trip together. Our team would agree there is something special about the Spanish moss and the salt marshes of Edisto Island, and I can say in full confidence I'm going to go back there someday.